gone down 4.9%. The median house price in Richmond is about $832,000. So that's where the market is in Richmond at the moment.
So what is the state of the property market around the country? Well, the experts say there are suburbs where prices are at risk of collapsing. Damien Hansen has this report.
We haven't seen volumes this low since about 1996.
What we're looking at is the potential for a perfect storm.
Some properties have dropped 20, 30, even 40%.
I don't think anyone saw it coming.
Jeff English's retirement plans are in tatters.
We paid $1.560 million, so $1,560,000.
That was 5 years ago. Today, his investment property in this high-rise on the Gold Coast has plummeted by hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So we'll walk away from our deposit, which is $156,000.
He's just one of a flood of buyers caught in a property perfect storm.
We thought the market is going up.
Kim Gibson's situation is even more dire. The unit she bought off the plan in the same building 4 years ago for $1.4 million is now worth $800,000.
We're not millionaires or have fabulous jobs. We Mike and I both work for a living, so yeah, it'll take us a long time to recover, and that we really won't.
We could actually look down a barrel that was worse than the position we were at the beginning of the GFC.
Residex's John Edwards has been analysing statistics for 25 years and, until now, hasn't seen market conditions more primed for a crash.
Unless the Reserve Bank is very careful at this point in time, and unless the federal government backs off from its carbon tax proposal, I think that we could be looking down the barrel of some very difficult times.
America's subprime crisis trashed home values. What happened there is happening here. Negative equity. People owing more than their property is worth. Buyers advocate Scott McGeevers says house and unit owners are being forced to dramatically drop prices.
Having to do that and meet the market has been devastating. So, those losses can run $50, $100, sometimes $200,000.
And here on the Sunshine Coast is the epicentre of the property downturn.
And you don't have to look past the Noosa Sanctuary Resort to see just how far prices have plummeted. This place was built for around $210 million. It was snapped up last year by motoring group RACV for the bargain price of just $60 million. It's not a bad buy.
What we're going to see is more likely a stagnation of the values in these difficult areas.
It is quite a dire situation, so we are seeing simply very few buyers out there, and we're also seeing the number of properties available for sale about 30% higher than what they were at the same time last year.
RP Data's Tim Lawless says auction clearance rates are at 50%.
The weakest markets are absolutely Perth and Brisbane. We're seeing properties taking around about 60 days to sell in both of those cities.
But it gets worse. Every state is being hit. If you're trying to sell property in Moira in Victoria, it's taking much longer. In Kempsey in New South Wales, properties aren't moving for an average 140 days. Harvey in Western Australia, 137. The South Burnett and Scenic Rim in Queensland, 136 days.
We're currently seeing the average vendor across the Australian capital cities discounting their original asking prices by about 6.4%.
And if David Collier from lobby group Prosper Australia gets his way, real estate agents will be out of a job entirely.
We're asking buyers to stand aside from the market. We believe there are substantial falls in prices to come.
He's calling for a buyer's strike.
By any economic measure, the Australian housing market is vastly overpriced. It is severely unaffordable.
I think it's overly negative and unreasonable.
Hotspotting expert Terry Ryder says it's not all doom and gloom.
Some of the regional markets are absolutely screaming ahead at the moment.
There are places to shelter the impending property storm that others are forecasting.
In Queensland, Gladstone is a bit of a no-brainer because of the $100 billion worth of new industrial projects soon to start construction.
Terry says also look at Townsville and Toowoomba.
A little bit west of Brisbane, has a great future as a solid regional centre that's going to get a lot of benefit from what's going to happen soon in the Surat Basin with coal seam gas.
In New South Wales, the Hunter Valley.
That economy is absolutely pumping at the moment. What I look for is economies with multiple facets, and Orange has that, and also Wagga Wagga in the south.
In Victoria, Terry suggests investment value can be found in Warrnambool, Bendigo and Ballarat. But you still need to be careful.
The problem across all of Australia with respect to housing values is in fact its cost. And its cost leads to a position where the housing market has become in many places unaffordable.
The housing bubble is about to burst.
Yeah, more information on what the experts are saying and the suburbs where house prices are being crunched can be found on our website yahoo7.com.au/today.